Hi, I'm sorry the video got cut off. We will continue here. So it's vital to have that intellectual property and to operate under the law, and that we know all the requirements needed in order for us to complete our work tasks. Here are key activities. The first key activity we will focus on is to include obtaining a general contractor's license. Without this license, we could not legally operate the business. Once I have the license, I will need to make sure we renew it when necessary. In the flow diagram, it shows each step for obtaining the license. So the beginning is top left, do the research on all the requirements needed, apply for it, study for the test, and then check for other requirements. Take the test, pay the fee, and then it passes or fails us, and then we have the license. The second key activity includes getting funds needed and getting um, work vehicles and materials for our work. Without funds, we can't buy from suppliers. When we have the funds, we need to find the right supplier. Once we have the right supplier and our vehicles, we can start our work and continue all or part of this process. So, top left is the beginning again. Do research on the possible funding opportunities. Then we got to choose one. Then we get funding from the bank. Then we do research on what brand or supplier to go with. Then we choose which one. Then we negotiate a good deal with the suppliers. Then we buy the vehicles, materials, and tools. And then we obtain the items. And so that process applies for a whole lot of different situations. Here, we illustrate the costs that we incur. So we recognize that we have labor costs. We have labor costs for the constructions. We have those labor costs for the administration and office. We have the material costs for each project, and then we have the cost of obtaining the property in the first place, and then any realty processing cost, and then overhead for our office, shop building, utilities, and cleaning of buildings. So this is for the first year. These are projected numbers. They're not final. We included, you know, various different costs here. So we can see the amount on the right, and then the total amount, adds up to, unfortunately, it's cut out on the bottom. But if you add up all that, we get the final cost. Here is our revenue. So we assume for the first year that we'd be able to sell 5 small homes, sell 3 large homes, and 1 mansion. Of course, the selling of each home includes doing the improvement on it first. The selling price is based on the scope of work and the size of the home. And then the revenue outweighs the costs, and we will be able to generate a profit if our assumptions are accurate. So here you can see our total revenue would be $6,350,000, which is quite a bit, but there's a lot of work included. But this is a very profitable industry. Here are metrics that matter. First, value proposition. I think it's the most important because this is what we offer, and that's what sets us apart from our competition, the quality that we provide. Cash flow, it's extremely important. We already talked about it. We have to have a positive cash flow because we have to fund things before we can get paid in the end. And it's quite expensive. Burn rates. This is related to the cash flow. However, it's important to measure because if we don't make any more money for some time, this is how long we can survive for. This is kind of the working capital. Customer relationship, lifetime value of a customer is important. Maybe a customer wants to keep doing for us, and even if not, if they like us, they will recommend us. Then the market type, it's very important because it's an existing market. It's proven to have the potential to be successful in this industry. There's lots of information available online. We can also look at other companies that are successful, and we can try to see what makes them successful and maybe adapt some of their strategies and processes. Here are some insights from my interviews. Value proposition. We learned from my interviews that We may not only want to flip homes, but that we might also just want to do remodeling in general for people. Customer relationships. From interviews, we learned that we can retain customer relationships by offering warranties or free maintenance. Channels. We learned from the channels that the internet website also counts as a channel because that is one way that customers can interact with us. Customer segments. After our interviews, we learned that the banks are not only there for us to get money or buy properties, but we may also be able to do renovation work for banks as we improve the value of the property that they own. Then finally, revenue. Something that most people were telling us is that the prices that we can sell the houses for and with are totally affected by the area, the state of the housing market, and the condition of our economy. Another is the key activities. We learned that there are more key activities than those that we first thought of. One of them that it was that we needed thorough pictures before, during, and after the project. Then we can show customers, if necessary or beneficial, the progress that we have made. Key resources. One of the vital lessons that we learned was that we needed to have a good cash flow, especially because we don't get revenue until we are completely done with the project, which we already mentioned several times. Key partners. One of the partners we did not think of until after our interviews was a landscaping company. We could probably do much of it ourselves. However, that would depend on the scope of work and the labor costs. Finally, costs. We have to be able to obtain the properties before we can work on them. That is a major cost that we have to incur early on. Then we don't only have to pay for the materials needed, but we also have to pay for the labor. We originally forgot about the acquisition cost of the property. Business environment. The housing market will greatly affect our profit margin. It is very volatile and difficult to predict the market and that is why we will have to continually follow its trends. Our country's economy and the world economy will also affect our business drastically as people will have more or less money to buy homes. We will also need to do continual and detailed research on our industry, meaning the entrances and exits of companies. Currently, our economy is growing, which is a great sign for our venture. We can greatly benefit from this growth as more people will be willing to spend more money. Here's the SWOT analysis. This stands for strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. The strength is the greatest strength that we have is our positive worth ethics and putting a major focus on customer satisfaction. In other words, we really care that the customer is happy and we did a great job. There's no cutting corners in those two areas for us. Weakness, as we are starting out, it may be hard to compete with the companies that have already been in the industry for a long time because they might already be a little bit more efficient than we are in the beginning. A threat is international relations and our country's economy because it can greatly affect our business. Return into if we return to a recession, we may not be able to survive as a business, but there's several things that we can do to maximize our chances and prepare for that. Our opportunity, the more homes we improve and sell, the more cash we will have to reinvest in our company. So we can grow quite fast. This industry is greatly profitable. I believe that with good quality work, and if we care about our customers and keep to our values, we can succeed greatly. Unfortunately, there's many companies out there in this industry that frequently do dishonest things in their business dealings. Pivots on the canvas. One of the major pivots we made is to add a bank as a customer segment, which we briefly mentioned, as we realized that they may not only sell foreclosed properties, but they may also be interested in buying improved homes, or that they may want us to improve a home for them. Another pivot we made was to add landscaping to the big picture. We previously did not even think of this, but improving the landscaping is crucial for the appearance and value of a property. Another variable affecting our revenue are the housing market fluctuations. This can add the revenue we receive or subtract from the potential profit we can make. So this is This is a very big part of our industry. Not every industry has that issue. I really appreciate the time, and I hope that you found our information interesting. We did a lot of research to be able to provide that information and numbers, and we feel very confident that we can, generate profit with this great idea. We're very um, we feel very strongly about this idea, and we're very motivated to work hard and do the right things, and we're also well educated. So I think this is a great opportunity. It's a proven market, so we already know that the chances of being able to make money are quite high, especially because we already have some construction experience. So this would be a great opportunity for us, and we would greatly, greatly appreciate the opportunity if we did have the opportunity to do business with you. And if not, no, it was very nice meeting you, and thank you again for your time.